Good morning, everyone. I received a comment from John 36RIV1, and he says, while the weather isn't good and work slows down, it would be good to have a recap episode from where you started and where you are, plus plans for 2024. I said that's a good idea. I did a short recap in episode 50, but could definitely do it again and explain what the plans are. Then John says, I've seen every episode, was thinking more of an unedited end-to-end walk through of the house and garden and commentary. I think that would be really interesting, and I think that's a brilliant plan. We're going to do that this week. I am working upstairs, demolishing and tidying up, etc. You'll get to see that next week. It's pretty boring, really. So, yeah. Absolutely great plan, John. Thank you very much. We're going to do an end-to-end walk through the house with old footage of how it was, some footage of what we have been doing, and footage of what it is like now. With one of my chickens tries to fly in through the closed window. Silly buggers. Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to have a quick shower, a shave. It's Sunday after all, and then I'll meet you outside. Well, before we go outside, I just want to show you this little mock-up that we did on SketchUp. You can see three houses, a big house, a middle house, and a small house. This is now the garden where we're going to look into, and there you see a little annex, a little outbuilding in the back where my cursor is now. Later we demolished the first floor on that outbuilding, and we are building a bathroom in there. That is the middle house with that crazy 45-degree corner in there. Not sure why it's ever built like that. I'm now circling around our bathroom building. There's an entrance into the garden. And this is a layout plan of the house, the ground floor, as we found it. Still with stairs in the bathroom that we've removed. This is the middle house. This wall has been... No, we are going to remove that. Made a door opening in this wall. Will make a door opening in this wall. Remove that wall. We did that straight away, actually. Yeah, and that's going to be a bathroom. That's the first floor. So that is only the big house and the middle house. We have removed these, that wall actually. That's the middle house. It's going to be the staircase basically, and probably no floor so that you can look straight up into the ceiling. Yeah, that first floor was on top of the bathroom. That's been removed. That's roof terrace. So we bought our property in 2021, unseen, just from an internet website. The price was good. We did a little bit of research into the environment, the surroundings, and that turned out also to be very favorable. We put an offer in and we got it, unseen, just by doing some research online. The property is in the middle of a very small village right down in the middle of France, and it consists of this larger house, the middle house that you can see there, and then a little barn that we converted into a tiny little house where we at this moment live in while we do up the rest of the property. You can clearly see the three houses. The oldest house is probably built in the 1800s somewhere. The middle house a bit later, and the smaller house somewhere in the 1900s, late 1900s. It used to be a little clock making factory. It's not only the Dutch who used to wear wooden shoes, it's also the French. The big house used to house a little bistro bar, is what we understand. We haven't done anything yet to the facade of the house on the street side. That's gonna be later, maybe this year, possibly the next. Low priority. The big house was divided into a lot of smaller rooms. All the walls were cladded with plasterboard with a insulating backing, and we started to remove everything. We want to expose the walls, the ceilings. So it was a lot of breaking and a lot of runs to the tip. Moved all my tools into the big house and started demolishing. Now this is how the situation currently is in the big house. I've got my workbench there, a lot of unorganized stuff. I got a shower tub made out of an old IBC tank, a laundry, dryer, water heater in the back, an improvised toilet. We haven't got sewage at the moment yet, so that's just a box with a bucket in it, two garbage bags, cat litter, and yeah, it works. You have to get used to it, but it works. You see a window frame there that I'm building at this very moment. That's the Electra for now. I'll have to redo that. This year, we're gonna have to remove all the old electric cabling, but probably going to get some help from a friendly neighbor doing that, making sure that everything is safe. The shower works. It's just, it doesn't look so fancy, but it works. And our toilet always works. It never fails, it never gets clogged. A bucket, two plastic bags, cat litter, it's fantastic. I'm gonna have the same toilet in the van, I think. This is the middle house, it's basically storage. I got firewood in there, I got tools in there. It's basically also functioning as our mud room. We take our dirty clothes off there before we step into the little house. And that's the entrance to the little house. It's a temporary door. We're gonna have something different there later on. Well, nobody had lived in our property for 25 years and the garden was completely overgrown. We had a tree basically pushing the little house to the side, which we had to remove. There was just so much dirt and so much rubble in our garden that it drove me crazy. I just had to make space for myself to see what we actually had, and also in order to create some storage space outside for materials. Yeah, we rented this mini excavator and we ordered big containers that were placed in the street, and we started sort of emptying out part of the garden. I think in the end we ended up removing around 60 cubic meters of dirt. The dirt was really 2 meters 6 feet 6 high from the floor level in the house. Nadia was always driving the mini digger and I was doing the muscle work. So we've started in spring and I had about 6 months time to live in my camper van on a nearby campsite while I was doing up or converting the barn, the little house, into a habitable space for us. I really wanted to live on site, way more productive, and we decided we do up the little house, or we convert the barn into a little house, and this was exactly how it was. It was a little barn. People hadn't been there for 25 years. It was infested with spiders and other little creatures. So the first thing we did was make an entrance, an opening between the little house and the middle house so that we could walk through our property without going outside. This was a non-load bearing wall, so a good trial version, because later on I'm going to remove partially some load bearing walls. Quite exciting work. All the stones that were harvested from this door opening I have kept and later on used for other building projects. I've never thrown anything away really. Even the mortar later on I'm going to recycle and turn into new mortar with the addition of new lime or new cement. Yeah, then we have delivered concrete. I'm not sure how much it was again, but we poured a 10 centimeter 4-inch thick concrete floor into the little house. There was nothing, it was just sand. So it's reinforced with steel mats, and this is going to form the basis of our floor. Yeah, opening up the wall on the street side in order to install large windows. It was a really dark barn, so we decided we need opening windows front and back in order to let the light in and make it livable. This was a lot of work. Yeah, well, a lot of work. It seemed like a lot of work. What's going to happen in the future is even more. This is a good trial. I have probably rebuilt this forward-looking wall for 80%. You see I'm using these parpangs and concrete. Just want to have it strong. Now I'm not an engineer by trade. I cannot calculate strengths, so I'm guesstimating everything, and I preferably overbuild instead of underbuild. Better be safe than sorry. Yeah, so far it's been working out great. I've been living in the little house for well over a year now, and it's been doing good. So, and here the windows on the front side, on the street side, are in. Before we started with everything, we have applied for permissions, of course, from the local council. You have to do that. Their requirements were very minimal. They were very happy, I think, that after 25 years, finally some people came, showed up, and decided to do something with this house. You see there that I have a red door. That was actually the original opening entrance door of the barn, and I have refurbished that door and placed it back. You can see there on the left side these new concrete blocks. That's where the door is going to sit, just pretending that nothing ever happened. Also, this part is where our double door fridge is positioned on the inside, so it wouldn't have made sense to space those two windows further apart. I needed that space enclosed. Yeah, then after doing all this rebuilding of that wall, I've got to start learn to render. We have to use a lime render on the exterior of the house. That's actually one of the requirements from the local council, and that was quite the experiment. Here I'm sitting in the loft. This is going to be our bedroom. I have completely cleaned out the roof, removed all the cobwebs, insulated the roof, and cladded it with wood. Later on I'm going to paint this white. Why white? Well, because it gives more feeling of space. It makes it feel more spacious. The space you can't stand up in, but it's large enough for a king-size mattress and storage space for clothes, etc. It's not large, but it does the job. Yep, and then it's up to painting and giving it a finishing coat. I've installed everything. I've installed electrics, kept it very simple. And this is going to be, what, 4 or 5 coats of white paint. It's all raw wood that I've used, so yeah, it soaks up a lot of paint. Yeah, and then we start to render the walls on the first floor, on the ground floor, I must say, of the little house. I'm using an insulating base coat before I coat it all with a lime render. The lime render turned out to be a bit greyish, so I painted over that with a white paint coat. So here I'm installing the Electra, kept it simple. This wall is going to be cladded in wood slatting, just to break it up a little and give it a bit of a cottage feel. Yeah, flooring. So after the concrete pour, I have installed insulation, sandwich, and on top of that electrical floor heating, and on top of that these tiles. Tomate, they're called here in France, traditional tiles. This was a big drama because they were actually damaged by some kind of paint or so before I got them, and that caused a falling out with the supplier. I've never been back to that supplier. Eventually I had to repaint all the tiles, yeah, sort of in the same colors as they were. Grouting afterwards, and now it looks good. Fast forward in time, this is our little house at this very moment. Please don't mind the rubbish there on the table. That's our chicken pharmacy. Well, I promised Nadia to tidy up before filming, but Nadia is in Australia at the moment, so nothing much she can do. Yeah, little kitchen block. I removed that from the camper van. The camper van has a new kitchen block. A little couch, fridge in the background. The windows with some curtains and some old linen bed sheets that we converted into curtains. Yeah, all modern amenities, large TV, etc., etc. And that is the ladder that leads up to the loft where we sleep. It's a very old ladder. It was 7 meters long when we bought it, 21 feet, and we had to cut it in two. The biggest part is for us, and the chickens also have some parts of the ladder that they can use to sit on while the sun is shining. Yeah, we like old stuff, vintage stuff, antiques. This is an old poêle, an old fire stove that we use. It's from the 1920s. It's Art Deco. Yeah, that's an old mirror Nadia had to buy. I didn't understand it at first, but I do like it. That's an old stable light, but with a Philips Hue light bulb inside of it. Some old baskets where we keep our wine corks and onions in, and some feathers from the chickens, in fact. Yeah, just old decoration, vintage stuff. We like it. We want to decorate our house in that style. Now, this is the following year. This is in 2023. Yep, early 2023. We hired another mini excavator and had Nadia driving that again in order to remove more dirt and to make more space. We came up with a 2-level plan. Well, actually a 3-level plan, sort of a terrace and then a higher situated terrace. In that case, we did not have to remove all of the dirt from the garden and build a large retaining wall in the end. I mean, the difference between floor level, this is where I'm standing now, and the highest level is about 6 feet, 1.80 meters. So if we would have done everything in one step, removed everything from our garden, then we would have to build a retaining wall between our garden and our back neighbor's garden. This is laying out the drainage, the rainwater drainage, and also we've installed French drains in our garden. Our garden is situated on the north side, nice and cool in the winter, in the summer I must say, but a lot of rain in this part of France, and also because of the higher situated land behind us, you get a lot of humidity in our garden, so it was imperative that we installed good drainage. You can see the corner there between the middle house and the small house, that we removed all the debris that was there. There was a huge pile of debris with dirt on top. There was a tree growing. I could just walk up that hill and touch the roof of the little house. Now you can see the window frames there, rain gutter, and that's basically our entrance. We've opened that up. We've removed so much dirt. Unbelievable. This is what our property looks like from the air. You can see our fire pit. and the little house, the roof of the little house, and then you can see that crazy corner of the middle house and the big house and the bathroom building. Yeah, gives you a very clear picture of what it looks like. That's the property of our neighbor. It's a garage. He's not doing anything in there. Now, and here we start giving our garden a bit of shape. We are building the first layer, the first terrace, really, from oak wood that we bought, plastic behind it so that it doesn't get damp, giving it a treatment later. In the far back you can see the oak wall. Later I decided to clad this all with natural stone. It was just too much wood. It looked more like like a horse stable kind of western farm. We didn't like it. We wanted to have it more French, which means more stone. To walk up from the ground floor to the upper terrace, I'm building a staircase, and I'm building this actually from stones that we've harvested from our house. I'm using a mortar based on white cement, white Portland cement, to give it the impression that it's made out of lime, which is the tradition, but I wanted it to be super, super strong, and Portland cement is just stronger than lime. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result. Oh, this was a heavy, heavy job. 7 big bags of gravel delivered to the street, on the street, and I'm carrying this in by wheelbarrow and by hand to deposit the gravel. You can see the plastic there, that is a root cloth. We don't want weeds to grow through the gravel. That would just lead to a lot of maintenance work. And the idea has always been to build a house that is low maintenance, relatively small garden, um, and just basically a cute cottage, but with all the modern amenities. Yeah, when Nadia was on a break from her job as a super yacht chef, she came and helped me renovate the roof of the little house. I had reinforced the roof already, but it was not completely watertight. We had a small leak, so I've decided to repair it from the outside by removing all the tile slats, replacing them with new ones, while installing a plastic barrier first, and then putting all the old tiles back. I like the old tiles, they give character. I did not want to completely renew, and it goes for most of the house. We want to reuse the old materials. We don't want to completely renovate the house and make it looking like a new house. That's never been our intention. We like the look of old vintage things. Now I could not delay this work any longer. We had to clear out that gross, ugly, dirty, scary basement we had. It was still stuffed with wood and food and things from ages ago. Lots of spiders, mold. It was gross. A neighbor helped us, and then we power washed the whole basement, and I redo the walls with lime render, because this is going to be our basically our technical space. The water heater is going to be there. A lot of our plumbing systems will be there. Sewage as well. The sewage will exit our house through the cellar. I'm very happy that I did it. It was not really nice. Yeah, one of the reasons why our basement was so dirty and so wet was that because there was no proper way of closing it off. It was just a vertical door, but rain would still come in, right? So I had to rethink, redesign, and rebuild the entrance of the basement. So from bricks that I salvaged from other demolition jobs around our house, I built a new entrance with plywood doors that close the whole basement off and let the rainwater drip onto the street. Now, then I started with the mammoth job of demolishing or partially demolishing what is going to be the bathroom. This whole first floor of the bathroom needs to be removed. Roof tiles, all the wood structure, and then all the stones, and that were a lot of stones that I needed to hammer, chisel loose, and then throw down. And I have reused quite a large number of these stones in our fire pit seating. I'm building a fire pit seating out of the natural stones and white cement and sand that I have recovered basically from the mortar, the old mortar that came off of this first floor of the bathroom. I have saved everything and thrown it into the cement mixer and then sifted through it, and yeah, basically this old mortar mixed with white cement and water makes a very good new mortar to use. And yeah, in that way I don't throw things away and I don't have to buy new stuff. I mean, most of the work in this whole process is basically just moving stuff, dragging stuff, throwing things away to the tip, and then going to the shops to buy new stuff. It's just a waste of time and a waste of money. So I prefer to use all the old stuff. And you've got a story, you know. I mean, I can tell people, hey, this fire pit seating is built from materials that came of a house. It's cool. Things, yeah, stay, you know, in its place, sort of. It was really a lot that came of this building, and that's because these walls are about 35, which is what 15-inch thick. So that's really a lot. I'm going quite deep here. You can see that the floor beams are exposed. And I wanted to go this deep because I needed to remove those floor beams to inspect them for damage and to refurbish them. I have replaced some of these floor beams with new ones to build eventually the new roof. Here I'm reusing a number of these stones to encapsulate that wooden wall all the way in the back of the garden, if you remember. It was just too much wood. We wanted to have it stone. So I'm building a wall again with white cement on the outsides and normal grey Portland cement on the inside. Portland cement, the grey one is a lot cheaper than the white one. But where the cement would be exposed, I've used the white one. Again, with the old mortar that came out of the wall. Yeah, and then it's time to start opening up this bedroom wall, basically. That is going to lead from the bedroom to the terrace on top of the bathroom. A lot of breaking. It's a load-bearing wall, so I had to build a lintel, support the roof. This was a lot of work. I had to build supports for the roof that would lead all the way to the floor on the first floor, the ground floor, in order to support the roof and not let it collapse while I was opening up this wall. A lot of work, a lot of stones came from it. All had to be carried by hand downstairs. Yeah, and then there was time to start rebuilding the roof of the bathroom, restoring, renovating old beams that were still in good condition and installing some new beams. I've made a sandwich construction of the roof, which is OSB plate and then insulating foam, OSB plate on top, and then a roofing ladder, roofing material, bitumen, I don't know what you call it. This is a very common product in Holland and in Germany. You don't really see it here in France, so I brought this over from Holland. It's very practical, it's very fast, you just burn it down onto the roof. The OSB plate has got a coating, a bitumen paint kind of coating. I'm just warming it up and make sure that it's dry, and then you start heating up the bitumen roll, and it basically fuses to the roof. It overlaps each other. It's completely 100% watertight. Afterwards, later on this year, we're going to build a wooden roof decking basically. The bitumen is not a very nice, friendly, beautiful site. It's just to protect the roof and to stop ingress of water. At the same time, we're building a new chicken coop, basically from rest material that's left over from other jobs. We bought two old doors. You can see them on the right hand side. And we placed them alongside on top of each other. And we built the rest. Nadia is giving it the wood a new coating of protective oil kind of coating. I'm not really sure what it is. And here we are installing the door in the bathroom. That's the exterior door. I'm making the door frame myself from raw wood. And we install a door that we bought second hand. The glazing will have to be replaced. I don't like this type of glazing. We're gonna go for clear glazing or maybe a privacy kind of diffuse glazing, but it's gonna be white. This is the French doors that we are installing on top of the roof. Also, this needs to be completely refurbished, but that will be happening later this year. All the glass needs to be replaced. The wood needs to be sanded back and painted. I'm probably gonna work a little bit on the hinges, but that's all for later this year. Nadia is rebuilding the stone wall, a perimeter wall. I'm not sure what we're gonna place on top, some fencing maybe, wrought iron, I don't know. It's gonna look very eclectic. I am here removing a false floor in the bathroom. There was piping underneath, sewage piping, and I just want to have it lower. So a lot of sand had to be removed there. Yeah, man, if I could have built this whole house from the ground up, I would have been finished by now. It's just so much more work if you have to demolish, remove, and figure out how things work and how you're gonna apply your ideas. It's an awful lot of work, really. And this is the floor of the bathroom. I'm gonna have to level this out, and then it's gonna have insulation, floor heating, etc. So yeah, this is the entrance from the big house into the bathroom as it is now. I had to raise the entrance, it was quite low. The bathroom, that's an ongoing project. As soon as the weather becomes a bit warmer and cement and glue can set, I'm going to continue with the bathroom. In previous episodes I've already explained what I want to do. I'm going to build a completely new bathroom in this one from these white Ytong or Cellen concrete or air concrete blocks, and we're going to mold them into organic shapes, and then we're going to finish them off in beton ciré. Don't know really what you would call that stuff in English, but this picture roughly represents the idea that we have. So at present this is what it looks like. That's the gable end of the little house. And the back side, oh my god, it's such a rubbish. It's a construction site. This is what I keep myself reminding. There's a lot that still needs to be done, but the garden is largely in shape. That's the fire pit. There's a lot of moss growing on the seating, but that's fine. Just let it grow and then we can remove what needs to be removed. But I do want to have it looking old and like it's been there for ages. That is that's the backside of the little house, of course, from the top terrace. That's the middle house there, and now you're looking at the big house with the roof terrace on top of the bathroom. Well, in the future, scaffolding on top. That wall, all walls need to be rendered. You see the stone wall on the back? That's also overgrown with moss. It really starts to develop, and that's what we want. That's nice. Maybe not at the moment, but we can bring it in shape later. Our chicken coop there in the back. Our first little chicken coop on the right hand side. That is storage at the moment for feed for them. And that's our chickens. These are our children. At the moment we have 3 ladies and 1 boy. We've lost 3 chickens, unfortunately, due to disease and I don't know what. Very sad. Yeah, that is another, well, vantage point, looking from one side of the garden all the way to the back. It's not large. This is filmed with a wide angle lens, but it gives the best idea. We need to do a whole lot about our planting. We did not know enough about plants. We need to consult with a garden architect basically to tell us what kind of plants we need where, because we do want to create a lush garden basically as soon as possible. We don't want to wait for years. That's the roof terrace at the moment. Still a lot needs to be done. The lintel, I want to have a fascia plate on it, an oak plank basically, showing that it's a big oak beam. Yeah, the doors needs to be worked, the rendering needs to be done. The flooring, that's all this year. The decking, I must say. Hopefully we can find some nice wrought iron fencing to place on top of that wall. And maybe even a gazebo or something. I like the idea of growing a grapevine up there. Now we enter the big house, the first floor. This is going to be the master bedroom, the big bedroom. There was a dividing wall there that we broke out, and I am at this moment in the process of stripping all the rendering off the walls. We are going to re-render it and do it a little bit different with exposed stone to really get that cottage feel. I also like to re-render. You want to make it your own, right? Your own smell, your own feel to it. And then we're going to remove the planking of the ceiling so that we look from our bed straight up into the roof. That's the roof, a wooden roof. I'm going to paint that white mostly, and we will keep a part of the roof as sort of a mezzanine level where we, well, maybe people who will stay over can sleep, or I don't know what. We'll make in that corner a big walk-in wardrobe. Now we are entering the middle house, and the plan for now is to install the staircase in the middle house and leave the floor open. So remove all the planking so that also in the middle house you look straight up into the ceiling. Our house, our property is small. The pictures here don't do it justice. It looks bigger than it really is. So it's really important for us to create space, or create the idea of space. So opening up walls, opening up ceilings is really important. Yeah, so that's basically, well, past, present, and a little bit in the future. What's further on the plans is to install large opening doors there so that you can walk from what's going to be the kitchen into the garden, and from the garden into the kitchen. This door here, this is part of the middle house. This is going to be not a door. We're gonna have a fixed window, a non-opening window or something in place. We want to have sunlight in, so it's a good idea to install a window there. Not sure how that's gonna look like. And then when we enter the house through the bathroom, then we come into the big house, and this is going to be our kitchen. So on that side is going to be the kitchen. Reasons are that it really fits there, and also that's the coldest place in the house. There's no direct sunlight on the house there, and it's just cold. That's a perfect spot for a kitchen, right? So, and then you're going to have the door to the bathroom over there. Here, where the temporary shower is now, are going to be large opening doors. Possibly the eating arrangements will be made here, and this wall that divides the big house from the middle house is going to be largely removed. How I'm going to do that, I have no idea yet. It's not a load-bearing wall, but still there's a chimney going through. I don't know. But the idea is that we're going to open this all up so that we go straight into the middle house from here. We still want to keep the chimney because we want to have a wood-fired poêle stove. What do you call it? A wood-fired... you know what I mean. We're going to have that in addition to the floor heating that we install everywhere. And then the middle house, I am not sure. We are not sure what this is going to be. It's a small space, and we're going to have the stairs going up to the first floor here. How we're going to do that, we don't know yet. We really don't know. This could eventually become like the sitting room where you have a TV, or not really sure. Then once we move into the big house, the little house is going to be probably another bedroom or a studio or an office, something like that. Yeah, probably a bedroom for guests or so. So yeah, well, that's basically my story, the past, the present, and the future. Now, a whole lot is not known how we are going to do things, but we have rough ideas of what it should be looking like, what we want it to look like, and what atmosphere we want to create. And that is, well, countryside cottage, but secretly with electric floor heating, hue light system, a smart house, insulated, that sort of things. That's what we want, and we want to create a house that is low in maintenance. Nadia and I travel a lot. We used to basically travel or work for months away at sea. We might have to do that again in the future. So we want to have a low maintenance house. The highest maintenance at the moment are these guys. Yeah, but they'll become independent, I guess, at one point. Anyway, hey, thank you very much for watching. John, thank you very much for your idea. I think it's a brilliant idea. If you have an idea, let me know. If you want to support our channel, please see the link below for a cup of coffee for undersigned. And yeah, I hope to see you next week. Next week we are going to continue stripping the rendering upstairs in the bedroom. I probably will do a little test patch of rendering with exposed stones just to see what it looks like. There's a crack in a wall that I want to repair as well. And I am building a wooden window frame for the little window that is upstairs there. Next to the big opening doors, there's the old door opening. We wanted to have a window in there just to let light in. So that's going to be a fixed window, non-opening. I'm building the window frame myself. And yeah, next episode that should be ready to go in, so that'll be included in the video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next week. Bye now.